Hello, my beautiful loves, the world is me, Queen Nightmare, and I'm guessing you just read the rest of 7 through 9 of the fan fiction of Drarry by a subscriber, which I am so thankful. Thank you, hon. I really loved it. I liked how it ended. I mean, like, I like how, I'm not going to say it because you probably haven't read it yet. So I won't say anything, but I like how it ended. It was really sweet and kind. I'm just watching the cat lick itself. It's so weird. She like does it behind her back, you know, like the head twist we all want to have, so that like we can see if someone is talking crap about us. Anyway, I am. There was a hair in my mouth. I'm so sorry. That was a bad sound. I'm doing chapter 7, Draco's POV. I was sitting reading in my bed when I heard a scream in the next room. Harry was having another nightmare. He was constantly having nightmares. Sighing, I put down my book. I put a bookmark in my book and I placed it on the bedside table. I got out of bed and walked over into his room. When I reached his bed, I noticed he was sweating. Harry, wake up! I gently shook his shoulder, causing him to shoot up wide-eyed before his eyes adjusted. Shit, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to wake you, he apologized. You didn't, I informed him. What was the bad dream about this time? I questioned. My godfather dying, I told him. He told me, sorry. I'm so stuck on Harry's POV. I also noticed that his nightmares were being sporadic things. Like one night it could be about the war, then the next night it could be about his childhood. You were there when he was killed, I said. You were there when he was killed? I said, and for him to confirm, he nodded. It's all right, Harry. I know your godfather was a big part of your life, but his death made you stronger. It made you want to fight even more. It got to get justice for him. I said, and he nodded. Thank you, Draco. He smiled, and I got an idea. Move over, I told him. Wait, I thought they were going on a date. Wait, what? The date already happened? Okay. I'm sad now. I wanted to actually do a date scene. Oh well, who cares? This is kind of sweet. Move over, I told him. What? His eyes widened. Move over, I insisted as he slid over in the bed, and I got in with him. I don't usually sleep with guys on the first date. He laughed. I threw my arms around him as he cuddled up to my chest. I always knew I'd be the first, I smirked, causing him to blush. Good night, Harry. Good night, Draco. I fell asleep only to dream of Harry. Come on, Drake. I think you should tell him, Blaze told me. Oh, wait. I have to have a different voice for Drake. What should I have for Drake? What is a good Blaze voice? Okay, I got it. Come on, Drake. I think you should tell him, Blaze told me. We were in the room on Easter break. It was during the war, and Harry was on the run. I can't tell him, Blaze. I don't know where he is, I sneered. After the war, I mean, he said. You know, unless he dies. He isn't going to die, Blaze, I yelled. Draco, someone called from up downstairs. Stay here, I whispered. I made my way down the stairs to see why I was being called. In the middle of my manor stood Harry. He didn't look like himself, but Granger and Weasley were with him. Aunt Bella. I'm going to call her Bellatrix. They said Bella. I'm going to call her Aunt Bellatrix because I always like the name. Aunt Bellatrix was holding him tightly. Is it him, Draco? My father smirked. I looked Harry in the eyes and his breath was heavy. I can't be sure, I answered. My father said something else, and I just continued staring at Harry. Harry was my main focus, and so far, he was still alive. He was dragged away as I stayed and watched Stranger be tortured by my aunt. I was so scared, but I didn't let it show. Harry came back eventually, and he just barely escaped with Dobby. The chandelier that fell cut me up. I just ran back into my room, and Blaze sat up there. What happened? Harry's bark. Harry Potter is dead, the Dark Lord yelled, causing my heart to sink. I gulped back the tears and walked over to the side as my parents called me. Voldemort greeted me with a hug, but all I wanted to do was cry. When Harry jumped up, my heart leapt. Everyone started fleeing, so I did. I fled, and Harry won. A few months later, I was back in the manor. Father was in Azkaban. Mom was with me. And I never got to tell Harry how I felt. I was in my room when there was a doorbell rang. I figured the house elf would get it. A few moments later, I heard my name, but the voice was filled with venom. I walked downstairs where my mom was. She was cradling a baby. What's going on? I asked cautioningly. He's your son, she growled, walked over to me. She handed me the baby to cradle, and I noticed a note was attached to the blue blanket. Draco, I know we only slept together once, but it got me pregnant. It only takes once. I don't care who you say. It only takes once. I don't care if you sleep with a guy like 5 times and you don't get pregnant, but you get pregnant one time with another guy. It takes 2 to tango. Okay? 2 to tango. You can't blame someone else. I'm sorry. I didn't tell you, but I'm too young to be a mother. He deserves a family, though. And you're his father. I'm sorry. Raise him well. Astora. I'll tell her Astora. I wish I had told Harry. Draco! Someone called my name and I jolted awake. It was just barely morning. Harry? Harry? I asked tiredly. Are you all right? He asked. You were muttering my name in your sleep and you were whimpering. Oh, I just had a dream, I said. Harry curled up to my side more and looked at me with those piercing green eyes. Tell me about it. No, it's nothing. It has to be something, he said, causing me to sigh. I finally nodded and I looked directly at him. You have to promise you won't freak out, I said, and he nodded. I explained to him everything from the start of the dream. I explained how I felt towards him and how I could never tell him. I told him about when I got Scorpius, and he sat and listened intently. When I finished, he nodded before sighing. I'm sorry. I caused you so much pain, Draco, he said. If I knew when we were younger how you felt, I wouldn't have treated you the way I did. But, hey, I'm here now, and I won't go anywhere as long as you want me to. Thank you, Harry. I smiled, but bit my lip. I need to tell you something else. Okay, what is it? I used to cut because I loved you so much, and the pain was too much. The pain of not being able to tell anyone. The fear you wouldn't feel the same way. Well, one day Scorpius asked me about them. I told him it was because of Estora leaving me. He doesn't know it was about you, so don't tell him, I said. He took my wrist and kissed the now non-existing scars. Yeah. I promise, baby, but please don't do that again. I promised. He smiled and kissed my lips before getting out of bed. Where are you going? I need to shower before work. You should get ready too. I'm going to make you something for breakfast, he told me before leaving the room. I realized I was in his room, so I got out of bed and walked into my bedroom. I finished getting ready, putting on my uniform, and I heard Harry just get out of the shower. I walked out of my room just as he walked out of the bathroom. The towel hung low on his waist, and his abs were moist from the water. Oh, I hate that. I hate that word. I hate it. I just cringed. Oh my gosh. When I read something, I don't really listen to it until after I say it. Whoo! No. Not saying that again. His hair was messier from shaking it, I'd assume. Like what you see, Malfoy? He smirked. I snapped out of my trance. Are you sure you don't want me to make you breakfast? I'm done getting ready. Nonsense, Drake. He waved his hand. I'll do it, he smiled. I nodded and made my way downstairs and walked over to the coffee pot and poured some for myself and Harry. Harry came down just as I finished pouring his coffee. I handed him some and he pecked me on the lips. He beckoned me to sit, and when I did, I finally asked him what was on my mind. Harry, why are you all of a sudden attracted to me? I asked. I mean, it's only been about a week since you left the woman you claimed to be the love of your life. He looked at me and bit his lip, as he was pondering his answer. You know when it feels like your body's pushing you to do something? He asked. Like a gut feeling. Yeah? Well, before I broke up with Ginny, you made me feel cared for. We went out a lot together as friends, but you made me laugh more than I had in a while. But when I broke up with Ginny, you offered us to live with you without a second thought. Then the sparks were another signal, or a sign, as you may call it, that needy feeling of being with you. And then I initiated the kiss yesterday, because when our eyes locked, my gut was telling me to do it. He explained, and so I nodded and smiled. I think my body was also making me postpone my wedding. The universe knew something was wrong. He smiled, and I leaned in and kissed him. He smiled when we pulled away, and he handed my plate of French toast and sat with me at the counter. So, what do you have to do today? I asked him, taking a bite of the food. God, this is so good, I said. Thank you. He kissed my cheek. I have to do paperwork and look over a few cases. Make game plans for everyone else. Wait, you're the head aura? I asked, and he nodded. I didn't know that. Look at my raven being all successful. I smiled as he blushed. Well, dragon, he rolled his eyes, You're pretty successful too. I smiled and kissed his cheek. We both got up and I checked the time. I need to go, but I will see you later. I smiled and kissed his lips. Okay, goodbye, love, he said, and I was out the door. Harry's POV. I was just about to leave for work when an owl showed up at the window. I let it in and took a scroll out of its mouth. I unraveled it to read it. Hi, Harry. Hope all is well. I really think it's a good idea if you and I talk face to face. I need to tell you how sorry I am for everything. I still love you, Harry. Please consider it. Ginny. Yeet. That was just my, I can crack this. That's my elbow. I can crack it all the time. But anyways, yeetus to the fetus. Just yeet. Just yeet that scroll out the window and say, bitch, no. I groaned and placed the scroll down on the counter. I bit my lip and contemplated. Would meeting her once hurt? I just left and went to work, without a second thought. I walked through the door and smelled food. Honey, I'm home, I called playfully. In here, Draco called, and I walked into the kitchen. How was work? He asked, putting some chicken into the oven. Long. How about you? It went well. Treated a amount of people today. Can I ask you something? Yes. I sat at the counter as he pulled out the scroll from this morning. Do you still love her? I bit my lip, looking into his icy eyes, and I shook my head. I'm in love with you, I admitted. The knot in my stomach untied as soon as those words left my lips. You are? His eyes widened. Very much so, Draco. He smiled and walked over to me and planted a kiss on my lips. I'm in love with you too, he whispered and I pulled him onto my lap and nuzzled into his side. But I think I should meet her, I mumbled, and he let out a breath. I think you should too. Really? I asked. Yes, but I want you to come with me. I want to come with you. That's fine with me, Dragon. I cuddled him closer. I love you, Draco. I love you more, Harry. Whoo! I still ship it. I ship it. You cannot make me not ship it. Whew, thank you for a good day. Okay, sorry. I just thought that was amazing. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long one, but it actually is a good chapter. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna have like a kind of a what we learned at the end of each one. What did we learn for this chapter? Pretty much trust each other and always be open to the person that you're actually in love with. If you actually do like that person, please go up to them and say it. Do not wait until the last opportunity, because it will hurt. And if you have something in the relationship, please tell them. And if you want support, just ask them. Well, guys, gotta go now. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Bye-bye.